tape right now because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
So guess what? Ben Shapiro got caught lying by, guess who? Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly catches him lying because I don't know if you remember, we showed this to you, that he claimed that Candace Owens was accusing Erica Kirk in being in on the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which she never did. And I know that because I watch her show. And I'd be surprised if Megyn doesn't watch her show. But let me play this for you.
What Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she is doing right now. Okay? And I say that again.
But what because like I didn't opine on whether it's evil or not, but my position is it's really none of my business. And
why is it? I have a question. Why is it none of your business? I mean, you comment on these things for a living.
I'm not mother of the internet.
No, but if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
Yes.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk, yes.
Okay. Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have time to watch Candace's show.
I believe you. But the point that I'm making is that
what I understand
friendship
Candace
should not, in our business, I think it's important. Listen, friendship should not trump.
We don't even know each other.
I understand, but even with Tucker, friendship should not trump our manifest requirement to speak out when people do and say things that are both detrimental to conservatism and morally wrong.
Okay, so I don't totally
So it turns out he was making all that up. This is pretty amazing. When Ben Shapiro appeared last week on Megyn Kelly's live events, he falsely claimed Candace Owens accused Erica Kirk of participating in a murder. And here's what she has to say.
He said that Candace has been claiming Erica Kirk was behind the murder of Charlie, which I had not heard. And I was taken aback because that seems like something I would have heard. It's so crazy. And I have since learned it is not true. Candace has not made that claim. And in fact, I've now seen several clips of Candace specifically defending Erica Kirk and saying she would never make a claim like that about Erica, and that she is open-minded to other people at Turning Point. That's obvious. She's been making that point. I had heard that point. But she's specifically been defending Erica Kirk. And she's been saying she does not think that of Erica. And in fact, if you read her comments, she's under pressure to make comments about Erica. And so far, what I've seen, she hasn't. So thank you for that question.
So it turns out that Ben Shapiro is lying, or as some people would say, over-exaggerating. And the downfall of Zionism is over-exaggeration. Everything's anti-Semitic. Everything's a blood libel. That's the downfall of them. So actually, forget I mentioned anything. Don't change a thing, you guys. Just keep going. You're doing great. Keep over-exaggerating and making false. So Candace Owens actually weighed in on this. Candace Owens says, "Thank you, Megyn Kelly, for clarifying that Ben Shapiro quite literally lied to your face and to your audience about my words. Rarely in politics do you see someone lie so brazenly in an effort to morally blackmail someone into their position. Trying to equate questioning Turning Point USA employees about their verifiable lies. They've been lying left and right. The Turning Point USA's employees, they've been lying and telling gaslighting lies since the beginning of this investigation. Trying to equate questioning Turning Point USA employees about their verifiable lies to accusing Erica Kirk of murdering her own husband is a vile and obvious attempt to shut down further investigation, and it will not work." So good on Megyn Kelly for addressing that. I don't know when I'm going to start believing the fact that she doesn't watch Candace's work or on the Charlie Kirk investigation. I just have a hard time believing that a woman who prides herself on being a newswoman, and the number one story in her orbit right now is the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and she's not interested in what the number one show in the world and best friend of Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, has to say about it. She really isn't watching that. I don't have time You don't have time? She does an hour show a day. Only a couple times a week. You don't have time to watch her investigation? I certainly have time. I have that kind of time, and I have 2 jobs. I have this job, and I have, you could say I have 3 jobs. I have a radio show. I have this show. I have a tour. I have a stand-up comedy touring life. I have a lot. I'm very busy. I have time to watch it. Why would you not? So I'm still having a hard time swallowing the idea that Megyn Kelly isn't interested in the facts that Candace Owen is uncovering about the Charlie Kirk murder investigation, assassination investigation. I just have a hard time believing that as a news person, she wouldn't want to know what the #1 show in the world is saying about the Charlie Kirk investigation. But where are you getting your information about the Charlie Kirk investigation, Megan? You're getting it from Kash Patel, are you? Are you getting more of it from Ben Shapiro? Where are you getting your information from? If you're not getting it from Candace Owens' show, where are you getting it from? You getting it from the New York Times? Are you getting it from Kash Patel? Are you getting it from the employees of Turning Point USA, the people who have been caught lying left and right over this? Where are you getting your information if not from Candace Owens' show? And she has a bevy of information, has caught million lies, and you don't think it's suspicious? Any of the story, and Megyn Kelly pretends she doesn't find it suspicious. The story that Kash Patel and the establishment and Turning Points USA are forwarding. She doesn't see any inconsistencies in their stories. She doesn't see anything illogical about the story of this guy somehow got on the roof and nobody saw him, and then he somehow got up there with a rifle, and then he put it together on top of the roof and still nobody saw him, and then he got the shot off and did it, and then the bullet didn't have an exit wound even though it would take his head off and could go through steel and concrete and trees, but it didn't go through him. So that's also, and she's not suspicious that he was able to then disassemble the gun again and then put it somewhere down his pants and then jump off the top of his building, but nobody sees the gun ever. And then he puts the gun back together, even though he left the screwdriver up on top of the roof, and he hides it. And it's just none of that. And then, of course, the text messages that Kash Patel said they discovered, that which was completely fabricated, which everyone now knows was fabricated, which is why the establishment never mentions those again. So how about the fact that they paved over the crime scene immediately? And in fact, I have in another segment I'm going to do today, we have text messages from the people running the construction crew that did that they know how to keep their mouths shut. What? So none of that stuff is a red flag to Megyn Kelly. She has no questions about the official story about the Charlie Kirk assassination. She has 0 questions. I know she does, and she's just not going to go down that road. So and so whatever. I guess I should give her grace because she doesn't want to go through that firestorm. You see how Ben Shapiro tried to get her excommunicated from the conservative movement over that just now, and he had, of course, lie about it because Candace Owens is only asking legitimate questions that everybody should be asking. And he tried to blackmail Megyn Kelly over that and tried to get her to disavow Candace Owens and take a stand on something that he's lying about. So I just cannot. It's going to take a long time for me to believe that Megyn Kelly doesn't have the time to look into what Candace Owens is saying, being that Candace Owens, she's not some fringe show. She's the #1 show. She was one of Charlie Kirk's best friends. And so I still find it very hard to believe that by the way, how did you find out that did you actually go back and watch her video to find out she didn't say that stuff? How did you find out she didn't say that about Erica Kirk? How did you find that out? Did you actually watch her show? How did you find that out? So this refuted this assertion that you don't watch Candace Owens' show. So that gives you a convenient place to say, I don't know what she's saying, so I can't talk about it, even though it's the only show of any consequence that's actually looking into it and asking legitimate questions. Why aren't you asking those legitimate questions? Why aren't you asking questions of the stupid story that we're being told to swallow? Why aren't you asking those questions? I don't understand. Why are you letting Candace Owens do it? And I guess you don't even watch someone else. So not only does she not ask those questions, she's not even watching someone who is. Someone who's got a more successful platform and is the #1 show in the world. Isn't that interesting? I think it is. But anyway, I still say tip of the hat, good on Megyn Kelly for letting everybody know that Ben Shapiro, like most Zionists, are just bald-faced liars, because that's how you get to be a good Zionist. You have to lie constantly. It's the whole Israeli project is based on lies. Look into the Nakba. Look into the Balfour Declaration. Look into all the false flags and the terrorism that founded Israel. Look into that. Look into most of their prime ministers changing their name to sound more Middle Eastern. All that stuff. Anyway, I'll leave it there. And if you'd like to hear my jokes about this, come see me in Sydney, Australia, Melbourne, Brisbane. I'll be in Burbank, California the day after Thanksgiving. It's a Friday. Flappers Comedy Club. It's always a great time. We're going to have special guests on that show. That's November 28th. We'll be in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, December 9th. And Waikiki. That's right, at the Blue Note on Waikiki in Hawaii. That's January 11th. It's a Sunday. See you then. Over to Steph.
Okay, thank you so much. I just have to send this to Andrew. Okay, here we go. Adore Jimmy said, Megan, Santa Claus is white. She's always been full of baloney. Do you remember that?
Remember that?
When she said that? Santa Claus is white. That is white. And what's the point? I just went to CVS and I saw a black Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. So I think there's diversity somewhere here. All right, let's see what the next one is. That was from Adore Jimmy. She kind of agreed with Don Jr. in believing the official narrative. James says, coming in strong, James. Now, this is funny. Another deal goes down, says, bitch riding both sides of the fence, fake fuck. You know, there's something lyrical about this phrase that you have. Another deal goes down. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Just like people who watch our show, they often say, hey, I don't agree with everything you say, Jimmy, but I appreciate you're honest, and I appreciate that you don't demonize people who disagree with you. It's a kind of a place where people can come and not be afraid to have different opinions, is my show. And what people really love when they come to a live show, when they come to see us do stand-up, is that they're in a room full of people who think like them. And that doesn't happen very often, especially people who think the same way about Israel, think the same way about COVID, vaccines, the duopoly, the two parties, feel the same way about Dr. Fauci, ivermectin. So the people who have been told they're crazy get to be in a room full of hundreds of people who think exactly like them. People strike up friendships at our shows. People say it's so exhilarating to be in a room full of like-minded people, talking to people in line. It's one of the funnest things ever. I can't believe that I have somehow created this. Here's Candace Owen on Piers Morgan, and she's laying it down.
Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him? Oh, you can't run again, obviously, but would you support him publicly again?
So I want to be clear. I don't regret voting for Donald Trump above Kamala. I think he was the better candidate, certainly a better candidate above Joe Biden. But what I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment. And I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen and it is happening. But I just think that the picture of politics in America is going to look very differently because of his actions. So I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. But this is not the candidate that I voted for.
But wow. So Candace has turned on Trump, whereas Trump is turned on by Candace. It's a little different. Corey Walker says, how is Owens considered MAGA when she backstabs and talks negatively about Trump every moment she can? I'll tell you, Corey, because Trump is supposed to be loyal to MAGA. MAGA is not supposed to be loyal to Trump. Trump is supposed to be loyal to his voters. You're not supposed to be loyal to a politician, you dunce. The politician is supposed to be loyal to you. And when the politician sticks a red, white, and blue dick up your ass, you're supposed to say something.
Yeah.